Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is vivianieprice, and as you can see by the title, you already know what we get into. My husband and I recently moved, and I was stressed out. Yeah, I was very stressed out. And the reason why I was so stressed out was because moving is a lot. So I decided to create a video about why it's so stressful and what you can do to mitigate the stress, okay? Moving is stressful because you're not prepared. Like, the lack of preparation really exposes itself, especially on the day of the move. If you're not prepared, it's just gonna be a mess. It's already a mess, but it's gonna be even more of a mess, and you're gonna feel the stress a lot more. So the number one thing is the lack of prep. You have to have prep. Another thing is having clutter. When you start to like really get into those closets and those drawers and that nightstand and that dresser, you start to be like, okay, why do I have all this stuff? There's certain things that you probably haven't even used for months or even years at this point. And you're like, wow, I have to now put this into a box and then traverse it wherever it has to go. Like, having clutter definitely but it can really make everything feel like it's a mountain of things, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, okay, I have all these things. Like when you're laying everything out, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of stuff. So having clutter, I think, is another big one as to why moving can be extremely stressful. Managing your time inefficiently. You think, oh, this is gonna only take me 10 minutes. It takes you an hour. Oh, this is only gonna take me 2 hours. It takes you 5. You have to manage that time a little bit better. Like that is very bad. And then the next, having unrealistic expectations. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get these boxes done today. Like, no, you are not a machine. You're probably gonna get 3 boxes done out of the 10. Like, you're not gonna be able to do it all in one full swoop as quickly as you think you should be able to or could be able to do it. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So my tips, start prepping early. Start prepping early. Only use the things that you need that are essential. Using the essentials. Start packing up things early. So if your move, let's say, for example, is in January, you need to start preparing for this move in October. Like, start putting things away, start putting things in boxes, start labeling things, and start putting the things that you don't use often but you still want to keep away, so you don't have to worry about all the stuff that you feel like you have to do when it's time to actually start putting these things in boxes. Like, you should kind of be living with boxes for a couple of months, I'm not gonna lie. Because if you do that earlier on, you're not gonna feel as stressed out. You're not gonna feel like your time is so scarce because, well, you had time, you started prepping early. Packing up things that you don't need, decluttering, throwing things away. Throw the things away, throw it away. You do not need it. You may think you need it, but you haven't seen it in years. Throw it away. And using the essentials. Like, that level of prep is going to help you. The lack of preparation is both mentally and physically. So if you can focus on the physically part, then you can worry about the mental part as you go along through the move. Use your time wisely. You don't have to do everything in one full swoop. Start with a drawer. The reason why you're prepping early is so you can use your time more efficiently. Block out the time that you need to do the things that you need to do so it can feel less overwhelming. Because when I was moving, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do the entire kitchen today. I started the kitchen at 10, didn't leave the kitchen till 10 p.m., child. I was in that kitchen for 12 hours and I was literally overwhelmed. Like, my husband was like, girl, why did you think you could do this all in one day? The kitchen's a lot. And I'm like, well, we don't have a lot of stuff. It doesn't feel like a lot of stuff because it's all put away. But when you have to take everything down, hey, yeah, it starts to feel crazy. So just start small, prep early so you can start small. And in that small little whatever project that you're deciding to work on, regardless if it's a drawer, a closet, whatever, undoing whatever you have to do to put everything away, start small, prep early. Blocking out your time to do the little projects and starting small is so you're not consumed with everything all at once. Be realistic. Moving takes time and energy. You're not gonna be able to get everything done in a week. You're not gonna be able to unpack, you're not gonna be able to pack and then move everything and unpack and get everything the way that you want in your new place quickly. Like, you're probably not even gonna start feeling like your new place, wherever it is, if it's a home or if it's a different apartment or wherever it is, you're probably not gonna feel like it's a home yet until you're like month 3 or 4 in the unit, because it takes time. Now, let's say you're packed up and now you're in the process of actually moving. Packing, the act of moving itself and unpacking take time. Don't set these crazy expectations so you're like, okay, I definitely am gonna finish everything today. You're not gonna finish it all today. You're just not. You're not. I'm sorry. rude awakening, wake up call. You're not gonna finish it today. Take your freaking time. Be realistic with how everything's gonna play out, especially when you're in the unpacking stage. And then the next thing is the way you start is the way you finish. You don't have to do it all in one day. The same way you started small and you started prepping is the same way when you get into your new place, you're gonna start small. Start with a couple of boxes. Do the things in a certain stride, especially like if you're a full-time employee where you're working and you have to get to work very soon after your move. It's definitely, your time is being completely split. So you're definitely not gonna be able to just get everything done in the most efficient, timely manner. Like, be realistic with your time. Take your time unpacking the same way you took your time packing in the first place. Once you declutter, because in the process of moving, you should be throwing things away, like I said already. So once you declutter, maintain that declutterization process. That is a made up word, but maintain the declutteredness. Like, declutter every 6 months after you get into your place. So if and when you have to move again, it does not feel, again, so overwhelming, because we as people like to have things, especially women. I have a million things. I think I don't have a lot of things. I've seen other girls' closets. I'm like, oh, I would love to have a closet like that. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't have a lot of things. But it was time to move. Oh, I had a lot of things. So declutter every 6 months. Like, I try to declutter every 3 to 6 months. Like, if month 3 comes around and I'm realizing, okay, I'm not doing anything with this, I don't use this very often, I'm getting rid of it. It's okay to throw things away. Like, you do not need to keep it. It's not necessary. So throw things away. Keep the declutter process going in your household every 6 months. So again, that next move, if you do decide to move, it's easier. And even if you're not moving and you're in your forever home, you just don't want to have clutter. Like, at least I don't. I truly believe a clean space is a clean mind. I say that to my younger siblings all the time. Like, you guys need to clean up. Clean up. It's so crazy what a clean space can do for your mental health. Just fresh sheets on your bed, nothing on the floor. Like, so insane how much that can just change the way you feel about life. It literally shifts you. So yeah, clean up, keep decluttering. And from there, hopefully that will help de-escalate the stress. And even if you're gonna be stressed anyway when it comes down to moving, because moving is stressful, there are gonna be certain things that are inevitable. And with that, you're probably still gonna be stressed, but you're gonna be less stressed if you prep early. You're gonna be less stressed if you have realistic expectations. You're gonna be less stressed if you use your time efficiently and do things in small chunks of time instead of trying to do everything all at once. And you're gonna be less stressed when you have less clutter. Less things makes moving a lot easier. Not saying you don't have to keep your things, you can keep your things, but you do not need all the things that you think you need. That's all I'm saying. If you watched this video long enough, hopefully these tips helped you guys out. They helped me. Well, these are things that I learned. Things that I learned were all of these things that I'm sharing. So hopefully you guys like this video. And if you do, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you next week for another video.